I always like the super.
We're live.
Hey. Good morning. Buenos dias, buenas noches,
Hi.
buenas tardes.
Buen,
Hello, everyone.
bonjour.
Bonjour. I
Bonjour
can't
pour
never forget
vendredi.
bonjour. Oh, comment
I
allez-vous?
got a euro.
Ça va très bien.
Queens.
Impeccable.
Okay.
What's up,
Huh?
everybody? Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend.
Another-
Can you believe it?
Another
God.
Can you believe we're
gorgeous
6
day.
months into the year?
We're half a year in already.
Yeah.
Half a
yeah.
year in.
Where is the time going?
Half a year in.
I know.
This is
but
the
you see-
moment. Look, we're not going to even talk about this today, but this is the
No,
moment where,
seriously.
you know what, as an entrepreneur, you should be looking at what your half a year look like, what you're going to do the next half a year. This is your,
How you gonna position
semi-annual. Yeah, this is your semi-annual of figuring out what you did wrong, what you're going to do, what you need to do.
Yeah. It's
You
time
know.
to go back over your yearly business plan, and maybe you need to readjust it. It's time to,
Absolutely.
audit the stuff you do to make you money, or the not enough stuff you do, or the stuff you don't
Absolutely.
do and implement. Yeah. I mean, all
Mid-year
three of us are big
checkpoint.
on that. Yeah, definitely.
Mid-year checkpoint, right? Can we agree? Mid-year checkpoint. We got to check
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
what the pulses were and where our numbers are. We're not going to just, keep hammering away and think that we're doing work, right? We're checking
Absolutely.
in. Checking
Absolutely.
in. Best time to do
Yeah.
it right now
That's right.
because in our industry, clearly, if it takes 30 to 45 days to close a property, 3 months to close on a co-op, as a realtor,
Yeah.
you're no longer planning for right now. You're planning 2 months, 3 months in advance, or from wherever you're tuning in, however long it takes. I know
Yeah.
Florida's 29 days, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we're basically paying with our actions now to get paid later and reap the
It's-
rewards.
It's so interesting you say that because, my coaches always say this, is that what you do today will affect you 90 days from now.
It's
So
always
everything you do today.
90-day
if you-
plan.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
either 90-day plan or not, but everything you do today, it will affect you 90 days from now. So
Yeah.
when you're at the front of your computer and you're looking at yourself and you have no contracts, that happened 90 days ago.
Yeah.
That's because you weren't effective 90 days ago.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to make sure that everything that you do today, whether it's time management, whether it's, anything that has to do with calling and so on and so forth, it
Yeah.
has to be purposeful, it has to be effective, and check out your 80-20 because really 80% of your outcome is worth on the 20% of your
Yes, sir.
So look at that
Definitely.
right away.
We should
But-
have another training on that because that might take a good hour.
It will. It certainly will. But you know what? I look at it, I have to look at my order in my business every 2 weeks. So, see where I'm at, where I need to do. This is how I ordered it. And honestly, there were things that I've actually paused for a while, just for a little bit. And I'm, looking at myself, not in the mirror only, but other ways and checking my own accountability partners. And I'm like, you know what? I'm messing up. Hence reason why. Look, got a listing this week coming up. Got another one that I'm supposed to be setting up for next week as well. So these are things that are rolling in, but these are things that I'm making sure that my 90 days from now looks perspective, looks positive, looks great. Because obviously, I like to have a happy smile, but so does my wife too. So.
That's good. But you guys are always on the right track. I think we work with a purpose, we work with intention, even in what I'm doing on the management side. So I guess we got that covered. And it's true, we can remember every single professional out there to work this way. And again, it's not easy because not everybody gives that sort of training and guidance in offices.
Right.
I was just talking to other broker owners, where they don't have the time to really be purposeful and intentional about the training they give to the agents, so they just bring in vendors. And it's good, but it's not, you need skill building, you need mindset training, you need a little bit of technology with what the tools that we have, and just to make sure we're all well-rounded. And I know it's tough. It's tough when you're a small broker with like 5-6 agents. It's very, very, very tough. And I get it. It's like we're not blaming anyone. It's not an easy business. As an agent, it's not easy. As a broker, it's not easy. But today, we're going to talk about something that actually came into conversations we are having all the time, like when we share each other's week and the business we have. And I've been a little bit baffled by some of the reactions, actions, the way some agents speak to their co-brokering agent, and so on and so forth. Not the way in the, like their tone and stuff like that, but what is being said and how they, unfortunately, some of them misrepresent their client, and this is for lack of education in that department. I keep on saying not all agents are created equal. Ed Israel and I happen to be part of the National Association of Realtors, so we abide, and we really like, I guess we're really big on this. We abide by the NAR Code of Ethics, okay, and which follows also all the rules in agency laws and contract laws and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important, and I'm seeing a lot of misinterpretation, a lot of people doing things for themselves, and you can't blame them. A lot of agents are, of course, making it, they have to work for a living, and sometimes you just look for your dollar and you miss the point and you misrepresent your client. I'm going to give you a little story. Let's start with this one. And no name given, and it didn't happen to me. This week, having a conversation with one of my agents who's supposed to make an offer, was actually presented an offer to that listing agent, and she's getting a phone call back, and the agent is telling her, "Oh, my seller would take even less than what you just offered." We're like, what? Oh, so you're representing the seller. You're supposed to make sure he gets the best deal possible. And now we're getting you a good deal, and you're telling us it's too much. What do we do with that information?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
I know.
I think somewhere along the lines, there had to have been some type of miscommunication.
I hope so, because I told her to hold on to really take a look at this. I'm like, what?
She should tell. You know what the response should be? Get that in writing. Get that in writing.
No, you're right.
Respond to them
I know.
in text and say, "Hey, do me a favor. Just can you send that to me in writing, just so that I have."
No, I wouldn't. The implications there. Imagine that poor agent is liable to. That's agency law violations right there too. I mean, this is bad. This is, if it's I hope this is not that. But if it's that, it's pretty bad. I wouldn't even want I wouldn't want I wouldn't want it to happen to me. It's kind of, but which shows you we all need to be educated and reminded of why we're having those annoying mandatory CE classes on ethics. We can't just breeze through and just put the thing on mute and let it go through, because I think we're missing the point. That sometimes we need to be reminded, right?
Right.
Really what's important for us. Anywho, so today, you remember, so I ripped off a little bit of Do the Right Thing movie poster, not with the actors and stuff like that, but this is what it is, like, do the right thing. Like, let's not forget our fiduciary duties. Fiduciary is a big word, but we have to.
Hold on a second. The do the right thing, that was also in like a movie or a comical movie. I can't, I was thinking about it earlier, but I can't put my finger on it, man. That was like a line
Spike
in a movie. I know. I'm just saying that it was, man, it'll come to me.
I'm sure it will.
So this is the Spike Lee do the right thing. Thank you, Spike, for inspiring us on the title of this, of today's subject. All right. Which brings us to, do you know the 6th fiduciary duty of a realtor when representing a buyer or a seller? Okay. Do we know? Anybody out there?
Most of it's on the screen already.
I remember
we gave out a little bit, but
you gotta find it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Find it in the I remember being at a real estate event, and some guy named Ted was talking about old cars.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh man, poor guy.
What happened?
Poor guy.
You know what? you failing, Ed Penafiel, because you did not bring Ted back. Ted has a brand new haircut and everything. Okay,
He
sponsored
does.
by me. You didn't even use
Sponsor.
this year. Okay,
I
so
did use, well,
I
this
spent
year
a
I
whole
didn't haven't yet.
$16 on that
I,
nice
so
blonde
Oh,
wig.
so
jeez.
I gotta use it. I gotta.
All right, let's talk about what Ted was talking about. Look, that's a deux
Oh my
chevaux.
god.
That
Yeah.
is a deux chevaux. That is the quintessential French old car. Isn't that cute? So old car acronym in
Is
real
that a
estate.
Volkswagen?
Une deux chevaux, une Renault. Okay, une
I,
Citroën. Deux chevaux, yeah, Citroën. I think so. Yeah, something like that. An old
that's what it's
old
called.
French car.
I don't even know what
Yes,
kind of car
it's
it
It
cool.
is.
looks
It's
like
the
a. It looks like a combination of the Mini Cooper and
And a Volkswagen.
the Volkswagen Beetle
they
at the
don't
same
make those
time.
cars anymore, and they're very much prized in Europe. You know, like,
Of
well, you
I'll
guys
course.
tell you
need
one
to
thing, they're
know
great
those
for
things.
parking.
It's
Yeah, they're
tiny.
really
Yeah,
good for
you said,
parking.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
god.
But
It's
isn't that cute? All right, let's
not
go with the
cute.
first acronym. So, obedience.
Mhm.
We're bound by the duty of obedience. Okay. So this has a twofold. Okay, the duty of obedience requires that the agent follows the instruction of the client and to act in accordance with the client's wishes. However, anything criminal, okay, the duty of obedience that does not include an obligation to obey any unlawful instruction, such as a request to discriminate in the sale or rental of housing or to misrepresent the condition of the property. Right? So, on obedience, it's good. We're going to do what the seller is telling us. But if there is mold in the house, um, mold, mold,
Well,
and you have spores and yes.
let's just use the topic that already had came up, right? The
Yes, go
idea
ahead.
of the offer that was submitted,
Right.
right? Like the offer that was submitted. So in this
Mm-hmm.
case, the obedience that the listing agent was, I guess, not acting.
You see what they did? They took the information. They did obey, but they're missing out other aspects of the code of ethics and the old car acronym, where you still need to do what's in the best interest of your seller. Is it in the best interest of the seller to sell the property at lower than what an offer is given to him? That doesn't make
No,
sense. That's why I'm saying this doesn't make sense at all.
no. Listen,
So if I would not, even knowing that the seller would take less, you shut your mouth and you get that person's the best deal possible,
of course.
right?
I mean, I would presume that's one of the reasons why they hired you.
Normally.
isn't isn't that in like the catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you top dollar. Why
I know,
would
I
you tell
know.
them?
I'm gonna get you less because that's what you want.
Hey, hey,
Come on.
guys,
I mean,
listen. You thank you for your offer, but I just want to let you know the seller will take less.
but
What?
but this is the conversation I've had. That no, I cross my heart. Girl
No
Scout
way.
honor. Okay, this is crazy.
I
Anyway,
think there's some words missing in
I
that
know, I
dialect
know,
that
I know.
took place,
Mhm.
but whatever.
Yeah. So we're also bound by the duty of loyalty. That's another fiduciary duty. So when it comes to the real estate transaction, obviously the agents must put their client's best interest ahead of their own and do what is best for the client, not the commission checks.
Mm,
That's also very interesting because it looks like sometimes with not greed, a lot of the times with necessity, we are calculating our closing check before we even have the listing signed, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm. And that
It
is
goes with
not.
tracking your numbers, though, so for good reason. It should be for good reason.
I know, but okay, hold
It
on. But in the
shouldn't. It
scope of
shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like, oh my god, if I get this, I'm gonna definitely get more or less or whatever the case might be. You know.
yeah, like an example of lack of loyalty, and I thought of it like, and also with disclosure. Let's say you get a listing, you're an agent, you're also an investor, you get the listing and you barely promote that listing, and you buy the listing from that owner without telling them. Once you close, you're putting it back on the market and make a huge profit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big breach of loyalty in the in your duties. You should, number one, the seller needs to agree with what's going to happen later. You need, at least there has to be also a disclosure. You can't just put, you at this moment in that scenario, you have put your interest as an agent in the forefront, not the interest of the seller, right? Yeah, you're making a commission for the sale, and then you're double dipping and make even more money on the resale of that property by just flipping it. You understand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but one thing we keep saying is seller. I mean, honestly, this actually goes back.
And buyer,
This goes both ways.
You're right. Yeah. I know I'm using sellers a lot. I do apologize, because that's what I work with.
So let me ask you guys this question. Being both seller and buyer's ends, would you, so old car is usually given to someone who signs an agreement or a contractual agreement to use you exclusively, or
No.
does it also go with you just handling someone as a customer?
But as a customer, when you
As a
first start off,
customer as well.
yeah, the moment that they ask you, look, I mean, honestly, agency starts in a small sense, like in an unwritten way of looking at it. It starts when they start asking you about real estate.
Right.
Once
Any
they start asking you about
substantial-
how's the
yeah.
market, how's this, what can I do with my house, so on and so forth, how much is my house worth?
Yeah.
How can I buy a home with certain down payment, things like that. You just have to really, I mean, not every portion of the old card that we're about to go over.
Yeah, of course.
It's going
Because
to be part
loyalty
of
and all
it.
that, but yeah.
But the point is that it does, certain acronyms will fall into it, but it starts the moment they start saying, hey, something about real estate.
Yeah, we're not going to be loyal to them, but we still have the duty of disclosure. You still have the
Correct.
duty of reasonable care. So there are some aspects that are there from the first substantial, what do you call that? Substantial contact.
Yeah,
Like the
first
minute they
yeah.
start showing
First initial
interest in,
contact.
but not everything. A client, somebody who has, and it doesn't mean they're going to pay you a commission,
Yeah.
but somebody you're representing, you sign the agency disclosure, and you're working with a buyer, and it says that you're representing them as their buyer agent, you owe them that duty.
Yep.
You do, whether they pay you a commission or not.
Yep.
That's
where it becomes fiduciary.
Yeah, that's where it's at. So disclosure. Agent must disclose any information they receive that could benefit the client's position in negotiation. Like the case that I had earlier, that information is not benefiting the client's position in negotiation. You can't say, okay, my client is going to take less. You must also disclose any material defects, any material facts, anything that might cause the buyer to change the action regarding the purchase. Same thing. You can't conceal. If you're a seller, if you're going to have a seller that's, like there are some stuff we don't have to disclose. Somebody, I guess somebody was sick, living in the house before they sold and stuff like that. You don't have to disclose they are going through a divorce. If they don't, if your sellers don't want to share that. But if the roof is leaking, this is something that needs to be addressed to the buyer.
Correct.
Because it's a material, yes, it's a very important material fact.
So material facts you disclose, but emotional facts you do not.
And then that goes into the confidentiality as well, yes. So you see, a lot of things are interrelated, and this is where things get blurry, and you have to be very, very, very careful. And that's why I know, like today, we're just going to do a synopsis, but I keep on reading on those things all the time. Actually, Realtor magazine is, I know it sounds like, when you read that Realtor magazine, it's like super annoying, but they have, to me, it's like, okay, it's a lot of stuff, but they have this fantastic article called The Disclosure of Agency Relationship. And I would, if you guys are realtors, take 10 minutes and go back over it. Bathroom reading, by the way. and just get a little bit more explanation on the whole thing, like stay informed.
Okay.
We're receiving those magazines, we don't even look at them because a lot of the times there is, the RPAC, the advertisement for homeowner insurance, and so on and so forth. But this month it's pretty interesting for that particular article for me, going back to the basics. This year is very important, and the take on by different attorneys. So that's a good one. I'm a little bit nerdy on this one. Confidentiality. Here you go. And this is where things also get blurry. So agents should never disclose any information learned about their client. It does not matter if it has to do with their business, finances, personal affairs, or the reason for doing the deal. And then this goes even further. That particular fiduciary duty of confidentiality lasts forever, ever and ever and ever. And it does not end only when the deal is done.
So this is where I sort of like, I'm not sure because, again, there's a lot of our, one of our products of industry is obviously co-ops. We're really pretty much giving out the entire financial information to the listing agent to provide, the seller, hey, listen, this is why they're buying the things, right? As to where they're getting the money, where it's coming from, how much they have, instead of just saying, hey, listen, I want to buy it at $500,000. Here's this plus all their financial power.
But the buyer agrees. A buyer agrees to give it.
Right, because that's really the norm of what we say to them. It's like, this is what they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, when it comes to a house, we don't need to do that. We just say, hey, here's.
No, but you're not gonna go and at an office meeting and say, oh my God, my clients are getting a freaking divorce and the wife is getting $2.5 million. It's like, okay, if you have that information, keep it for yourself. It's like,
Right.
and
You
you're
know
not
what
gonna
though? 100%, I agree with you, and I've heard conversations like this take place right next to the water cooler.
I know, but this is where, and even though when they we're talking about purchasing in co-op, they're actually purchasing not real estate. They're actually purchasing
Shares.
it still falls into this, but they are actually getting a lease. So those things, the confidentiality still falls in that, and they are becoming shareholder in the corporation. So they need to show the financial.
Right.
They need, so it's a whole different thing. But the buyer is agreeing to share that information with the co-op board. And the co-op boards don't disseminate that information to the public after that. It stays within them. Thank God.
Right.
Imagine the mess if it was public information that you release. That would be terrible. But it does not end. And this is where some people don't get it. They don't know. We should be almost like priests. Almost. Accountability.
Hold on, I
this
have a
one
question.
Yes. You want to go back to the last slide?
No, you don't have to. You can stay on accountability. I'm just going to ask you guys a quick question. So, if you have the past client you did work with, and then all of a sudden your past client wants to purchase a property that so happens to be a new client's listing, you're the listing agent. Would you consider this to be a dual agency at this point, or would you consider it to be a customer-client relationship?
Customer-client, depending on how long you've had the first client's contract for. So if you're, again, contracts are all based on a few things. It's just location, time, and your terms of commission, right? So if you're saying that you actually do a contract for a day, then that's it, it's over. But if you do it for an entire year, and then you get another listing within that year, and you weren't able to find the first,
you can still work. Yeah,
you can work with them, but it'll be a client-customer issue.
Yeah.
It would not be, again, if it's a year's worth, it depends on how long the contract was with the first one.
And then if you really think it's going to be a sticky situation, refer out, get a designated agent to work with that former seller that's becoming a buyer right now. If you feel there's going to be conflict, it's for you to decide and see, but it shouldn't be. I've sold some sellers that became buyers to stuff that I had, they were interested in.
But they're considered your customers because you're not. The thing
Right,
to understand is that they're not your clients because you didn't do a BBA, a buyer broker agreement,
right. But you're
right? So
gonna
if
keep that what you call it,
information,
I'm losing my the
Fiduciary
confidentiality.
duties.
That
right?
confidentiality part is still staying forever on both ends. Okay, you're still gonna be like the personal affairs. If it's obviously the finances because they're gonna buy another property, yes, that with the permission you're gonna disclose. But the
Mm-hmm.
personal affairs and the stuff that you did within the last deal, you're not gonna disclose it to the other
No,
listing that you have. Definitely
no.
not.
Cool, good to
Right?
know.
Good
So
question.
you guys would consider it to be like a dual agency?
No,
No,
not necessarily. No,
No.
no.
Okay.
no,
I
because
mean,
no.
by the sake of terminology, I wouldn't. But for the sake of old car situation, I still would do confidentiality on that
Yeah.
because
So
it's
you
a
could
way to
still
look at
have.
it.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be dual. Not in
But for
that
the,
instance.
yeah, for
Got
the
it.
sake of terminology, I wouldn't consider dual agent unless I sign that person up as a buyer's agent.
Right. Right.
Got it.
And then
That's a
you, I
good
mean,
question, though.
you
Thank
could
you.
always, disclose. I mean, I think it's all, again, disclosure. It would be nice to know, like, okay, Mr. New Seller, the buyer that I'm bringing you, I just sold the house and they were clients of mine. And why not? Like this is somebody I know they're financially strong because we just
Yeah.
sold their house. So yeah, you disclose that. I think if everybody agrees, then you're good to go. You
Right.
know,
Got it.
accountability. An agent is obligated to account for all money or property belonging to his principal that is entrusted to him. Money, oh, that's an obvious one, no commingling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Paperwork, anything they give you and entrust you, please don't lose things. Don't lose a
Yeah.
deal, even though you can find it online very easily, but don't lose documents that are entrusted into you. Like be
Exactly.
very, very careful with those things.
Yeah.
You know?
Up to 3 years.
Account, yeah, let's account for, like, we used to be to go and deliver, like have one contract signed by the buyer as agents. We would take the contract ourselves and go deliver it to the seller attorney, so that nowadays it doesn't happen like that, but we don't have that much responsibility, but we used to do that. So that accountability part and reasonable care really, really was big 20 years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
I agree.
All right. But you still be very, very careful and don't deposit checks from, deposit. Don't do rental deposit checks. Don't put that in your account. It's a big no-no. We all know that. That's a big one. All right. And the last one is reasonable care. So this one states that requires the agent to act with the level of care, skill, and diligence that a reasonable and competent agent would use in similar circumstances. All right. I didn't want to paraphrase that thing from National Association of Realtor. I think I
Yeah.
kept the exact phrase because otherwise it just watered down and you lose the strength. By reason of the license, a real estate agent is deemed to have skill and expertise in real estate matters superior to that of the average person. Hopefully.
Mm.
We do. We just took the license, so we do have hopefully a little bit more expertise. All right. So, but that's a responsibility. When just reading this, to me, it tells me we have to stay abreast of any new changes in rules, in laws. And it tells me like reasonable care is also for us to make sure that we get trained, okay, and retrained and make sure like we have our sales skills down packed in order to help the public at all time. So it
Yes.
just goes beyond just the relationship with the client,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very simple 6 rule to abide by in your business. Always remembering them. To me, they're very simple, and those are like guidelines for good business ethics. Just with this one, just with that, not even discussing then relationship with other agents and stuff like that, but just starting with this. If you really, really care about those 6 different fiduciary duty, you're already ahead of the game.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Right? That's it. It's a short
That's
little
perfect.
segment today. Should I put a link? Maybe I should go to. You know what? Let me put the link here. Let me put in the comments the link for the.
That was the last slide, right?
For that NAR article. Okay. Yeah. And that's the one. Okay, NAR fiduciary duty. It's a 2-pager and it's easy to go through. It does not follow the old CAR acronym, but it's in different order, but it does the same trick. That's it. Done for the weekend.
Wow. Summer Fridays are here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Summer Fridays
It's kinda
are here.
cool.
I cannot believe
Yes, sir.
it.
Got a lot of
Yeah.
things going on.
Cannot believe it.
Oh yeah.
You know what's crazy about Summer Fridays is that as much as you want to go to the beach, you just have a lot. Sometimes you have too much work.
Yeah.
You just want to cut it short. And
You guys shouldn't even have said that because I didn't think of it. Now you put that in my brain, and I'm
But
like,
here's
no,
the-
next week I'm
But
gone.
here's
Like,
where I was
oh.
going to go with it. See, my fiance Donna, she works as a corporate, so she has Summer Fridays. That's like a half a day for them. And
I
I'm
know
still
they
working.
do. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Why don't
That's
you
so
take
much
the
work to do.
afternoon off? No, you
Okay.
should. I think it
I
would be
So
healthier
I'm
for the
planning
two
my-
of
I'm
you.
glad you said it. I'm glad you said it because I actually did. I knew the weather was gonna be like this. You already know how I am about the beach, so it's already been planned, man. So we're
All right,
doing this
next
live,
week I'm out. Next
and
week I'm
after
out
that,
at 2.
I am out. We've been busy all
No,
week,
but you guys,
so-
it's
There you go.
important to disassociate sometimes. Taking the
Yeah, of
afternoon off,
course.
knowing that you're going to be working every day. Do it. Do it for
Yeah.
the sake of Donna. She deserves to have a little bit of time with you.
oh no,
Go.
we're gonna
She
do our
did.
thing. It's just the point is that it's this whole summer thing. So you just have to plan out your Monday through Thursday
Yeah.
for the weekend. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
Before that Friday comes along, it's like it's
Yeah.
half a day.
Saturday and Sundays, you make it happen. But
All
Friday
day,
is
every
cool
day.
because, you know,
I know. And you see, I
you
didn't
have
even
to
think
find
of
some
it.
time
I was
for
like,
resting.
I wanted to keep
Absolutely.
beast mode the whole summer,
Absolutely.
but you know what? Next
Nah,
week,
you'll burn out.
I'm out at 2.
Yeah, you'll burn out. Don't
Thank
do
you
it.
very
Don't do it
much.
to yourself. You'll burn
You'll
out,
always
man.
burn
You
out,
have to have
yeah.
your days. Like, look,
I know.
weekends we have to work. Clearly, weekends buyers are off. Weekends they want to see open houses. They want to see properties. You know what I mean? We have open houses to do. Like weekends are crammed. You know, but if we could set aside time during the week, maybe 1 or 2 days, that would be
Fridays
our weekend.
afternoon are great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but hey, you know what?
You know what we
think,
should do? I mean, maybe not this time around. Maybe during sometime in the summer.
Doing a live at the beach.
Nah, imagine. But do an episode called "What If," right?
What
What
if?
if?
Yeah, what if your weekend is packed up because you have family stuff and everything else? What are you gonna do for your business after that? You know, how are you gonna? continue to
Oh,
produce it?
interesting. Like putting
Like, are you
scenarios and have each
Right, are
other's
you gonna-
opinion on stuff.
That is a
Are you
good
gonna do
conversation.
Are you gonna do an open
My
house during the
mom's in
weekend?
town this weekend.
See,
My
there you
mom's
go.
in town
What
this
if?
weekend. But we're going to a wedding on Saturday.
There
We're
you
having
go.
them over tonight for dinner, so that's good.
Yeah.
But then Sunday I'm cramped, bro. Sunday I gotta
too.
do what I gotta do. Open
Yeah.
houses, appointments, like I'm cramped, you know. So
9 to 7 for me.
but
Yeah. Saturday,
good.
I'm usually off with my kids, but we did plenty of stuff last weekend, and I played hooky already on Wednesday with my youngest. So
Yes.
Saturday, I'll go actually and check what other agents are doing.
There you go.
checking on the agents.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
why not? And there are
Yeah.
some people I haven't seen in a while and stuff. They asked me to pass by their. Somebody's doing a home buyer seminar, and in
Nice.
Queens Village. I'm going to go and check that out.
Nice.
Whatever. I mean, if they're
Nice.
inviting me, yeah, why not? I'll go.
Listen, you know what I say. If you invite me, there's food and alcohol.
I'm
Free?
there.
I don't know if there is
Yeah.
alcohol. It's going to be afternoon. It's going to be a
I'm
family
there.
thing, so I don't know. But I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But thank you
Two
guys
out
for
of
tuning
three.
in.
It's still good.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 is
Hey,
still
so
good.
don't forget the one thing, right? What is it we always say? Don't forget to do something over the weekend. Go to your open houses, no matter
Open
what.
houses.
Right?
I'll be in East Elmhurst on Sunday. I'll be in Kew Gardens on Sunday.
Yep.
All over the place. always.
I'll be in Forest Hills mostly. So yeah, I'll
Nice.
definitely be there. Who do we have? No MVPs this week? Oh my
No,
god.
Yeah,
just us. We are the
Gigi.
MVP.
Gigi is the MVP. Up
GG's the
today.
MVP today.
Nah,
There you
I
go.
don't.
We'll take that.
All of
Yes.
us. That's it. That's our thing.
Gigi's.
All right. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Let's
Blessings
get off
everybody.
early because somebody's going to the beach.
Hell yeah! I gotta pack the car and let's make it happen. Gotta enjoy my Friday.
Okay.
I hear you.
Beautiful
I hear
day.
you.
I'm taking
All
full
right, guys.
advantage.
Adios.
Until next
Take
week.
care, guys.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good weekend.
All right.
Enjoy.
Too.
Peace.
Adios. Bye.